Pittsburgh, we are out of the dark era, and Matt Canada is gone. The Steelers played their first game in the post-Matt Canada era and were able to accomplish something that they'd never done under him, and that is produce a 400-plus yards of total offense day. It took them 1 week, let that sink in, to get that job done, something they'd never been able to do under him. 1 week. So anyway, I figured this was a good time to take a look at Kenny Pickett and his performance in this one to kind of see the highs and lows of it, to see kind of what we can expect from him moving forward. Getting into this very first play, we're going to be running a variation of long trap play action where we're going to get into 4 verticals versus a Tampa 2 look. For those of you who may be new to the channel and unfamiliar with what Tampa 2 is, it's a variation of a cover 2 look. Typically in cover 2, the middle of the field is open, but what the Tampa aspect does is it has a dropping linebacker type to drop into that middle field, which is going to take away the middle of the field, which would typically be a weak spot in a cover 2, which is what we're going to see on this one. Now, how does this long trap 4 verts beat this? I'm happy you asked. Long trap is when we pull a backside offensive lineman, typically a guard or a center, and he's going to pull a full 3 gaps or more across the formation to take out the edge defender, typically a 5 or 7 technique. What this action is going to do is it's going to hold this linebacker type, including that Tampa backer who's supposed to be dropping to close the middle field. Letting this play through, we see the backer has to respect the threat of the run, and he's going to hold for just a second before dropping to the center field. When he does get into that drop, watch how he's going to open his hips to the field side and turn his back to Freiermuth running that seam route. Pickett sees this, and he's decisive and rips this ball to Freiermuth with good accuracy and ball placement for a nice gain on first down, and Pittsburgh comes out firing in this game early. This was a great design and then great execution by Kenny Pickett. I like to see Pittsburgh come out of the gates with this downfield strike, letting Cincinnati know at the jump that, hey, this isn't your Steelers offense of old. Great way to start this drive. Now, moving on to this next play, it's going to be similar in the aspect that we're going to once again hit Freiermuth on that big seam after we catch Cincinnati in another cover 2 look. Again, Pickett sees the safety at the top of the screen. He's going to drift to the top of the screen to go more towards that go ball, leaving all this green grass in the middle of the field. Pickett's decisive and rips this ball up the seam. Again, shows great accuracy and ball placement on this one. That's 2 plays now that we've seen Pickett execute at a high level on a downfield throw, both of which versus cover 2. The second play is actually a big first down as Pittsburgh was faced with 3rd and 13 before the play. Nice start to the game for Pickett. Now, looking at the next play, this is a touchdown. I don't care how it was called in the field. If it was challenged, this would have been overturned and been ruled a touchdown. Johnson secured the catch, had 3 steps, and then at that point, the play is dead. It's a touchdown. Yeah, he falls to the ground and then the ball comes out, but it's a touchdown. The announcers were calling for the challenge live, and their ruling analysts were even saying that this would have been a touchdown on review. Anyway, getting into this play, it's a double post concept, and watching Deontay Johnson, he's going to hit his corner with a rocker step at the stem. Rocker steps are these quick, violent, wide base steps at the stem of the route, and he's going to sell the corner to get the defender on his heels, and then on that second step, Johnson's going to scrape off that corner's inside hip and win this route. Pickett sees it, gets the ball out, and this should have been a touchdown despite Pickett's ball placement not being the best on this one. Watching it from the backside, we will get into why the ball placement wasn't as good as it could have been. On this drop, Pickett's going to take a 3-step drop and align himself to the left, which is all good stuff. Now, in the red zone, our receivers don't have much grass to work with before they're going to run into that back line of the end zone here. So Pickett needs to make this a 3-step, 1-2-3, no hitch, and get the ball out. Pickett takes that hitch before getting the ball out, and the ball ends up inside on Johnson. Like I said, I think this ball should have been a 3-step and balls out, no hitch. If Pickett does this, the ball's probably on the money. But the hitch costs us a half a second, and the ball ends up behind him. If Pickett does want to take that hitch, then this ball has to be more on the back line of the end zone and can't be left inside. So overall, good play that should have been a touchdown on review if there was one, but ball placement certainly could have been better here. Taking a look at this next play, it's 3rd and short, and we have this shallow crosser by Pickens, and this is where I think the ball's designed to go, but when faced with single high and press on the outside, Pickett's just going to give his guy a chance on this go ball, and Johnson does a really good job of not getting jammed at the line of scrimmage, winning on this route, and stacks the corner. Great throw by Pickett here, dropping it in the bucket on the near sideline, showing good deep accuracy again, but this time it's outside the hashes rather than attacking the middle of the field. If he didn't like this, he always has Pickens on the shallow crosser for the easy first. Next one is going to be another accurate deep ball strike, this time George Pickens along the far sideline. Again, Pickett does a great job of getting to the back of his drop, aligning himself to the left and ripping this ball up the sideline, dropping it into Pickens with great accuracy. Pickett does a really good job of targeting these deep throws all day long in this game. Kenny Pickett was also accurate underneath for the most part of this game, and he found his tight end a lot on these short little stop and out routes. Freiermuth had a big game in his second game back from injury, ending the game with 9 catches on 11 targets for 120 yards. Pickett was looking his way early and often, as Freiermuth actually accounted for 1/3 of Pickett's targets in this game. Pickett also hit Pickens on a crosser when faced with his zero blitz, and he did a really good job to get the ball out accurately and quickly before pressure got to him, and got this ball out to Pickens early enough to allow him to pick up yards after the catch. Now, there were still some inaccurate throws, like the first one where he missed the wide open wrap in, or on the second play where we leave this ball just behind and inside on this out route, where the ball should have been pushed more out towards the sideline to allow him to turn up field, or on this final play where if the ball was thrown more so right on the pylon, this is probably a touchdown, so we kind of shot ourselves in the foot on this one. One good thing from this play, though, is as we see, Pickett goes out there and makes this throw with anticipation, which is actually really encouraging to see from him. Just needs to put this ball a little bit more towards the sideline, and I think this is a touchdown and a big play for the Pittsburgh offense. Another area that Pickett continues to play well in is when throwing on the move or extending plays with his legs. Sometimes, yes, he can get a little carried away and bail out of pockets prematurely, but I think he did an overall really nice job in this game of being patient with it and allowing the opportunities to present themselves without pressing the issue and leaving pockets when he still had time to scan the field. We also saw a couple instances where he used his legs to make something out of nothing, something we haven't really seen a whole lot of him this year, which is surprising to me. His rushing numbers are a little bit down from last year to this year, which is a little disappointing considering it's an area that I think he actually has a chance to win with on a down-to-down basis. To wrap this video up, was it a perfect game from Pickett? No, it wasn't. But it was a good game, and most importantly, it was improved from the previous number of weeks. The accuracy was overall good, not great. The processing and football IQ side of things are still pretty good, and the offense looked more opened up and actually more up to NFL standards currently. We actually saw some deep shots from him too, and we were able to connect on several of them. Overall, it was a really good start to the new play calling system in Pittsburgh, and I look forward to seeing how it continues to develop through the rest of the season. I believe they play the Arizona Cardinals this upcoming week. I'll be very excited to watch that game and see if they can kind of build off of this outing. That's all I have for this video. Things are definitely looking up in Pittsburgh, but we still got some more areas to kind of refine and improve on moving forward. Thanks for watching it. I really appreciated you checking it out, seeing it through the end, and if you liked this video, please consider liking the video or subscribing to the channel. I'd really appreciate that as well. Thanks for checking it out. Tell me your thoughts on the Steelers offense and Kenny Pickett in the comments below. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.